following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Welcome to Fairy Tale Access. Together, we will unravel the heroes, young and old, who turn dreams into reality. These are the people who still believe in fairy tales. Hi, welcome to Fairy Tale Access. Today, my guest is Cheryl Hager from Indigo Pixies. This is an amazing mom company, so I knew we'd want to share it with you. Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Denise.
Oh, my pleasure. So can you tell us a little bit about Indigo Pixies? What do you do?
Okay, well, the Indigo Pixies are a family of multicultural fairies, and they help children with certain milestones, such as weaning off the pacifier and potty training. And we do this through the use of storytelling, music, and magic.
Wow. So tell us about our guest.
This is Violet, our first in the series, Violet the Passy Pixie, and she helps children wean off their pacifier. A lot of times when babies are born, their parent is their security. And as they get older and become independent, a lot of times they will turn to an object like a pacifier or a blanket to replace the parent as a sense of security. And sometimes children get stuck and are unable to wean off the pacifier or give up their blanket. So the Indigo Pixies help with those milestones, and they help the children to decide on their own, for example, for this one, on their own, when to give up their pacifier. And at the same time, we are teaching them how to be more independent, to be responsible, and to make their own decisions. So it also becomes a meaningful bonding experience between the parent and the child, because there's a book, there's songs and videos that help the child to decide when it's time for them to give up the pacifier.
Great, and it's geared towards ages 1 to 4?
1 to 4, yeah.
Oh.
That's usually the age when children are having a hard time weaning off the pacifier. Like my son, it was inspired from my son. He couldn't wean off the pacifier when he was almost 4 years old. So I'm a songwriter by trade, and I said, what if I write a nursery rhyme about this little character called the Passy Pixie, who comes to the children's house at night, takes the pacifier, and then leaves a gift for the child. So that's how it started. We did start with a book. We self-published the book. To date, we sold 1,600 copies, and we were featured in Parents Magazine, and we actually sold out of books, which was really exciting for us.
Exciting.
So from there, we transitioned to a system, including a doll, because we knew as parents that children really, they love magic, they love believing in fairy tales, and we thought a doll would complement the story in the book. So that's how we ended up from the book to this kit right here.
So can you tell us more about the book?
The book actually was developed in 3D illustration. If you look at the designs, they're all illustrated in 3D form. And so the story is basically about the Passy Pixie who lives in the indigo forest with the other pixies. There are 4 other pixies that deal with different issues, such as weaning off the blanket, weaning off the bottle, and things like that. So she lives in the indigo forest with her family, and when a child needs her help, she takes a flight in the nighttime, goes to the house, takes the pacifier, and then leaves a gift. So the whole idea behind the story is to prepare the child for the visit. So playing the song, reading the story, and preparing the child that this is the night the Passy Pixie is going to come and take your binky and then give it to the new babies that need the pacifiers.
Oh, that's
so that's the story behind it, yes.
And it has some extra little features inside, I saw.
It does, actually. See, the contents of the kit are the doll, like we see here. We also designed a certificate of completion for the parent and the child to fill out once the milestone is reached.
For making the courageous choice to give your pacifier. Oh, that's so sweet. I love it. Oh, and she has her own bookmark.
Bookmarks, and they also actually have the codes for the nursery rhyme, the audiobook, and the 3D animated DVD video short that we did that also appears on the website as well. Oh, and this is just a set of instructions on how to prepare the child to take the pacifier away.
Oh, that's great. So good success rate?
Very good. We've been lucky. We had a lot of success with the book first. Like I said, we were featured in Parents Magazine, and we sold out of books within 3 weeks, which was just exciting and crazy at the same time because we weren't expecting it.
I know. You're also in the Mom Inventor's Handbook.
We are, yes. We actually were chosen to be as one of the mompreneurs for Best Children's Products of 2014.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
So I read her little page or two about you. It starts on page 31. So can you tell us about some of the trials and tribulations about starting your own business? And
There's so many of them. You know, when you start with an idea, you think that just because you have a great idea, everyone's going to love it and everyone's going to want it and buy it, and that's really not the case. I mean, you create a great product. The first thing is creating a product that works, which we've had a lot of testimonials that it does work. But then secondly, you have to build an audience. So we needed to start a social media campaign, a Facebook page, a Twitter page, and really try to get our audience engaged in the product. I'd say that's the biggest thing. It's just because you build something doesn't, the old adage of build it and they will come really just doesn't apply. So it takes a lot of hard work, marketing, and engaging with your audience to make it successful.
well, how did you come about making her? Did you already have a spec? Did you guys sew her together? Did you send her to China and get specs? Did she come back?
We made a prototype in New Jersey, and then we sent the prototype to a manufacturer in China. We do have, luckily through a colleague and a board member of ours, we have a connection to a Chinese manufacturer in Hong Kong. So she was made in Hong Kong.
Oh, that's great.
And shipped over here, yes.
So how many times did they get it right on the first try, or?
They actually did, because we had a prototype. So the prototype wasn't 100% what we needed it to look like. So that was sort of like the first stage of development. So we sent her over. We sent a bunch of pictures. My partner's husband does all the graphic design for us. So he was able to send all of his files over there and get her she's pretty close.
Oh, she's really cute.
We were really, really lucky to have that connection to a manufacturer, because in the beginning when we started, we tried to get a doll made and they sent this prototype that looked nothing like her at all.
Oh, really?
Because we just didn't have a relationship with the factory. So it all comes down to relationships and networking.
Wow. So tell us a little more about this Mom Investor's Handbook.
Well, the Mom Invented Handbook, this is the second edition. Tamara Monosoff wrote it. She's done a first one. So I was on her website, actually, and she was calling for Mom Invented products. So I just applied, and we were chosen as one of the products. So we were pretty lucky. It was just an internet application.
Wow. So you come under the title Seeing is Believing. Wow, and it goes through licensing, and this is great.
It's a great book for anyone,
like
really.
You've been busy reading.
I've been busy reading and trying to get some more tips. But it's a great book for someone that is inventing a product, or really that comes in at any stage. You read this book at the startup stage. I mean, we're past proof of concept. We're past our testing stage, and I went through that book and I found some great tips.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And let's see, you were also the recent grant winner at the Merrimack Valley Sandbox.
We were. Have you heard of the Merrimack Valley Sandbox?
Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. We were in the Winter Accelerator program. There were 71 applicants, and we took second place out of 71, which is exciting. So we had actually, I had actually come to the Sandbox with the idea of the book. And from the book they give you a lot of trainings. It's very similar to the Mass Challenge. Mass Challenge is one in Boston where entrepreneurs like myself apply. They structured it very similar to the Mass Challenge, where every week we had to go in and we had classes on learning our market, learning our value proposition, how to test a product, how to survey your customers to see if it's working. So it was this whole 13-week long process that taught us how to take our product from beginning to market. So we had come with the product, but our margins are, slightly lower on the book. So David Parker, the executive director, he was one of the founders of TripAdvisor. He suggested that we do a kit with a doll and an all-inclusive system that has more of a value for the customer. So this kit actually came out of us being in the grant program. So we came with this and we left with this.
That's fantastic.
So it was a phenomenal program.
Wow. Okay, and you've also been featured in the Boston Globe, I saw. That must have been
We were. It was actually from the Sandbox, from winning a grant.
great. And you were also a finalist and winner at the Southern New Hampshire Entrepreneurial Challenge.
That was in June.
How did that go? What was it like?
It was a lot different than that. It wasn't classes. We had to submit a business plan. So we didn't have a formal business plan. We sort of, we came out with this product and we just went to market right away, not doing any of the steps we needed to do. So when we got to the Sandbox, we did this. But the Sandbox only believed in lean business model startups, so they didn't have us do a business plan. So when we went to Southern New Hampshire, they wanted a formal business plan. So I was able to learn how to write a formal business plan. So everything's been sort of like a step-by-step educational process for us. So that was very different. We did a business plan with traditional weighted average margins and things like that. So it was very different, but it was great.
Oh, that is great. And you recently did a book signing event at Barnes & Noble, so people can find you at different locations.
We did. We did a reading at Barnes & Noble in Burlington, so the book is available for sale there as well. And we're hoping to be retailing the kits in Barnes & Nobles really soon as well.
Oh, that's fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So does it make you think that you have to actually ever go on the Shark Tank, or can you avoid them?
Well, it's funny, when I was at the Sandbox, I actually had a mentor. They set you up with 3 mentors that take you through this process. And I had a mentor that was on Shark Tank.
Oh, really?
And they got funded, and he actually told me to not go on Shark Tank. That was sort of a last resort. I think the thing that people misunderstand is Shark Tank is a TV show, and it's made for ratings, and what you see on TV isn't what really happens behind stage. We are actually in the fundraising stage of our business, so we are looking for investors, but angel investors. So it's a little bit different. The TV is really structured to get reactions and get the audience engaged, but it may not necessarily be what happens actually on TV.
Okay.
I know.
Well, it sounds like you found some great things to get you through the whole process of starting a business and maintaining it. What did we miss? Oh, so tell us about the videos. Who's shooting those for you? Is that something you do in-house, out-of-house?
The animated videos, we work with a company out of San Diego called Lifestyle Interactive Technologies, and they do all of the animation. So our graphic designer designs the animation stills. So if you look at them, they're all designed in 3D, but he doesn't animate them into movement. So we hired another company who actually now the president of the company is now on our board. And we wrote the storyline, and his designers just basically came up with the ideas for what the indigo forest would look like, because there is a scene where all the pixies are in the indigo forest. And so you see them laughing and joking around. Myself and my cousin, who actually did the voices in the video. So that's actually us.
That's so cute. That's awesome. Did you have fun learning that?
Oh, we had a blast. It was so much fun. I work out of a studio in Lowell called Surefire Music Group, so they were actually able to do the voiceovers, send them to our people in California, and then they meshed them together and made the video. So the whole story behind the video is it shows the story of the Passy Pixie leaving to go help a child, but then at the same time it introduces the other characters, because they will be released one by one, and there are all sorts of storylines. We eventually would like to do some cartoons and a film.
Oh, that's
with the
great.
Pixies.
So tell me about the other Pixies, because I don't want anybody to feel left out.
They're actually on the back. Well, they were all designed multicultural for a reason. it's, we wanted to build a very globally conscious and interdependent product because our society is so, it's so diverse in this day and age. So the Violet is the Passy Pixie. She does the pacifier. Then we have Pepe. He's the Potty Pixie. He's the Latino Pixie, and he helps them wean off the diaper and become potty trained. Then we have Motave, who is the American Indian one. He is the blanket pixie. He's also the ruler of the fairy, so he's also the wise one. And we named him Motave after his culture of American Indian. And Motave means Black Hawk in Indian. And we sort of wanted to name them according to their cultures.
Okay. So Pepe is after the father?
Pepe is the son of God. I believe that's what that means. So he's the Latino one. Violet is a flower, and Violet's personality, I call her the hippie pixie. She's loving, she's lighthearted and fun, and she often falls prey to Pepe's practical jokes.
Oh, that's cute.
So,
and then the Bubba?
Bubba is Bottle. And she's the Asian one, so we named her Miko. And then Justice is the bedtime pixie. He helps children transition from a crib to a bed, and we named him Justice because he's the honest pixie, and he always is searching for the truth. Aww. That's why his name is Justice.
And what about Miko? What's that name mean?
Miko, I believe, means flower of the sky. So I know we have pictures on the back, but she is dressed in green. She's green, so she has flowers on her. Her
they're
outfit.
Adorable.
Yeah, so this is Justice, the bedtime pixie, Motave, the blanket pixie, Miko, the Bubba pixie, and Pepe, the potty pixie, and then Violet is Passy Pixie.
Oh, and they all look so friendly. Like they'd be great friends. And I love the little mushroom scene.
This is the indigo forest, so this is where they all live.
Oh, that's great.
Together. In harmony.
Wow. So plans for the future? What's next for the Pixies?
Plans for the future are to get her into mainstream retail. Right now we sell on the website in a few different stores. American Girl store carries them up in Derry, New Hampshire. So we're planning on going into retail and eventually doing cartoons and a film. We have a lot of stories. Like I said, they all live in the indigo forest. So beyond helping with the milestones, there's they live together in harmony, they teach each other, a million different things. So we're going to be expanding on that in the future.
Oh, that's great. Like leadership traits and friendship. And
Bullying, friendship, honesty, things like that. Things that children are learning about as they get older.
And I saw that you're already really getting into the bullying aspect. Is that true?
We haven't yet.
Oh, okay.
No, but we will be.
Fantastic. And what else can you tell us about your company or things that are coming up?
I think we've covered. Covered it all.
What's your favorite book of all time?
My favorite book of all time? I love the Dr. Seuss books.
Really?
I'm a huge Dr. Seuss fan. I don't know if it's because of the rhyme or because I grew up on them, but the one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish, I love.
Oh, that's such a great story, too.
Green eggs and ham is another good one, too.
So what are other ways people can get a hold of you?
They can reach us on Facebook. We are facebook.com/Indigo Pixies. We're on Twitter. Our handle is @IndigoMagic, and also on the website at indigopixies.com.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for sharing so much about what you
you're
do
welcome.
and
Thank you for
all
having
your
me.
new plans. It's an exciting company. Imagine you'll have a lot of little people following you.
We do.
What was it like at Barnes & Noble's when they came in?
They all just sat around. My partner does a lot of the reading. She runs a daycare, so she does this, for a living. So they just about 20 kids, and they just sat around her, and she went through and read the story and talked about the importance of independence and seeing if any of them had a pacifier. A lot of their brothers and sisters had pacifiers, but they're very engaged, especially on the doll. I mean, we have little children that are loving the doll, and they're not able to put her down. I have testimonials at home of girls putting them in their doll carriers, bringing them to the grocery store, bringing them to school. So they're really, really, fixated on her.
I know, but she's so soft, and she's just so soft, though.
She's,
I love the way she feels.
She's a fairy, but we designed her, all of them to be toddler fairies. And so right now, in the market, there are no toddler fairies. So that's how we're different.
Fantastic. Well, I'm excited that we are able to cover your story.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. All right. So we'll look for more books from you.
More books. She's going to be in the retail real soon. Right now, she's available for sale on indigopixies.com, or you can contact us directly on our social media accounts.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. So, guys, until next time, keep asking questions. And be sure to check out Indigo Pixies. They have a lot of great information on their websites, Facebook, their .com page. So we'll leave all the information for you. And thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.